The title was The Fox Alien Gasps. When I think of her, and she's always on my mind, the story begins with a quiet town on the edge of the desert where people rarely spoke of the strange lights they saw at night. Amos thought it was just aircraft or tricks of the stars. But for Ethan, a young man who lived alone in a small house, the truth revealed itself one night in a way he could never forget. He often dreamed of something beyond the earth. He felt a pull in his chest, like a voice whispering from far away. And then she appeared. A fox-like alien woman with bright amber eyes and fur that shimmered like silver under the moonlight. She did not speak in words, yet Ethan felt her thoughts pressing gently against his mind. He was stunned when he realized she could sense his every thought. And each time he thought of her, she gasped, like the echo of his heart had reached her soul. Ethan tried to convince himself it was a dream. But every time he went to sleep, she returned. Her form would appear in his mind and sometimes outside his window. Her name was Leora, though. He only learned it through the patterns of feelings she shared with him. She was not of Earth. Kind had traveled across stars long before humans knew how to walk upright. Yet here she stood, gazing at him as if he carried an answer she had been seeking for centuries. The bond between them grew stronger, and Ethan found that she was always there. Whether he sat in his truck on the old highway or walked through the dry desert fields, he felt her inside his thoughts, responding to every feeling, every memory, every wish he dared not speak aloud. Leora explained that her people had hidden themselves in deep caverns beneath the mountains, watching humans from afar. They did not wish to reveal themselves, fearing that humanity was not ready. But when she touched Ethan's mind, something happened that had never happened before. She felt not just curiosity, but connection. He was able to hear her, to understand her emotions, even to dream her dreams. It terrified her, and yet filled her with wonder. Each time he thought of her, she gasped, overwhelmed by the intensity of human longing and memory. She was on his mind every hour, and soon he realized he was on hers as well. One night, Ethan followed the pull of her presence to the mountains. The air grew cold, and the stars shimmered brighter than ever. He found himself standing before a hidden entrance carved in stone, one that no map ever showed. Leora appeared, stepping out from the shadow, her form glowing faintly in the dark. She led him inside through tunnels lined with crystal walls that pulsed like veins of light. The deeper they walked, the louder the hum grew, until it felt like the whole earth was breathing around them. And then he saw it, a chamber filled with others of her kind. They were tall, elegant, fox-like beings with luminous eyes. Yet none looked at him the way Leora did. She stood close, her hand brushing his, her mind pressing against his thoughts, making his heart race. Her people whispered among themselves, uncertain of what to do. Humans were not meant to see them. But Leora spoke of the bond. She said Ethan had awakened something in her that no other could. She said that when he thought of her, she felt alive in a way her kind had forgotten long ago. The elders feared this connection, fearing it would expose them, yet they could not break it. The more they tried to pull her away, the more she gasped and clung to Ethan's presence. For his thoughts were not just his own now. They had become threads binding to lives from two worlds. The days that followed were filled with strange wonders and dangers. Ethan returned home, but the bond remained unbroken. He saw through her eyes, felt her emotions, and sometimes even glimpsed the alien sky she once called home. He realized she had been exiled for daring to reach for him. She risked everything to stay near him. When the council of her people demanded she cut the link, she refused. She chose Ethan, though it meant being cast out. And he chose her, though it meant living with a secret no one would ever believe. Their bond grew until it felt like they were two halves of the same thought. The desert no longer felt empty. Every wind that blew carried her voice. Every night sky held her gaze. Ethan knew he could never be the same again. And though the world might never know her, he did. The fox alien who gasped when he thought of her, who lived inside his mind, who became the constant presence of his heart. She was always on his mind, and he was forever on hers. The story closed with Ethan standing under the vast night sky, feeling her hand slip into his, and knowing that, whatever came, they were bound across worlds, across time, in a bond that could never be broken. Their bond grew until it felt like they were two halves of the same thought. The desert no longer felt empty. Every wind that blew carried her voice. Every night sky held her gaze. Ethan knew he could never be the same again. And though the world might never know her, he did. The fox alien who gasped when he thought of her, who lived inside his mind, who became the constant presence of his heart. She was always on his mind, and he was forever on hers. The story closed with Ethan standing under the vast night sky, feeling her hand slip into his, and knowing that, whatever came, they were bound across worlds, across time, in a bond that could never be broken.